Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to a surprise Saturday installment.
Other side. Don't look in there.
Welcome to a surprise Saturday installment. Wasn't planning on going. A premium account on X is required in order to stream on the platform. You can subscribe on X or stream to a different. Yeah, well, remove that. Remove it. Anyway, hello, boys and girls. In case you didn't know, someone tried to pop Donald Trump. I got questions. All right. I've watched this a bunch.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
I have so many questions. Like, okay, so you're telling me that Trump got shot in the ear. Trump got shot in the ear. Did he get shot in the front, the side? Where did the bullets go? I'm reading 11 shots fired. I'm trying to watch all this shit as it's happening. I'm about to actually turn on, I don't know, what's a news source that's covering it right now? I need to see this whole video because I got to be honest, this thing feels a little fishy to me. Okay, if someone pops 11 shots at you and they miss you, they hit you one time in the ear, they nick your ear, right? Well, where the fuck did that bullet go? It doesn't just vanish when it misses you. It keeps going. People in the crowd should be injured. Someone should have been hit with those bullets, okay? Because there's people standing behind him, both sides of him, in front of him. 11 shots fired. Only the president's hit? Fox News has it on? How am I going to log in? Let's see. Continue. God damn, man. I don't remember my Hulu. I'm trying to log in to some streaming shit.
They look delicious, sir.
Did you pull them?
Yep.
What was? I don't want fuck
cheese. I didn't know what you wanted those.
You could pull the cheese. Could be pulled too. It doesn't matter really. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a live source on my computer because I haven't logged into fucking Hulu in forever and I don't remember the goddamn password. Hulu, log in.
Wait.
We need you to verify your email address. Let's see this.
All right. God, Jesus.
Come on. I'm sorry, people. Keep watching. Multiple people around them are confirmed shot. That's what I'm trying to find out here. 075 59. Oh.
07559.
Now you. Yeah. Well, I was trying not to. Right.
Yeah, we still have it up. 594.
Oh, God damn it.
594.
Okay, fine. Jeez, man. The shit you got to jump through.
Oh, shit.
Live. Let's see. We'll go to on screen. Share screen. TV.
Has been
That's
escorted.
B-Rad in the background. If you guys don't know, that's Bradford Hale.
County, Pennsylvania. This is after shots rang out on the scene. He ducked, was escorted away quickly by the Secret Service, covering, bringing his hand to his head. It is unclear if he took a direct hit. It is unclear if he was grazed, but we do have a statement from his campaign. I'll read that now. It says, President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and is being checked out at a
Okay, so what I'm trying to look at here, God damn it.
A statement from his campaign. I'll read that now. It says, President Trump thanks law enforcement and first.
Okay, so the shots are definitely not coming from in front. You know that.
During this
now I'm looking at the people in front of them. Man, I'm just trying to see these people that are doubled over, redacted on YouTube too. What was redacted? Sounded like 7 shots, a long pause, then one more shot, and a woman started screaming. Yo, from Twitch. Oh, hey, I've got my first Twitch view.
Yeah.
What up, Joker? Why are they trying to kill Daddy Trump? Well, because they want us to fucking fight with each other. I got to be honest. I don't buy this, man. I really think that they're just trying to fire the American people up. I said it yesterday. Everybody out there is using the same sentence with different verbs. Trump is going to blank this time. So you got a whole group of assholes who think Trump is going to save the world this time. Then you have a whole group of assholes who think Trump is going to kill us all this time. And there are no in-betweens, because literally the world is on fire with Donald Trump right now. They are emotionally and mentally manipulating the fuck out of us. I don't buy what we're seeing here. Okay? Listen, I don't know where you got hit in the... this has to unfold, but I have problems and issues with this. Crowd behind was looking to the left. That's where apparently the shots came from. That's why I'm wondering if he was hitting his right ear from the side, from the left, then why didn't it go in his head? What was it, an air rifle? Because, like, it couldn't have been a high caliber rifle, because if it was a high caliber rifle, it would have just popped his head off, all right? It was not. It sounded to me like a 22 something air rifle. I don't know, man. I'm not like a forensics expert by any means, but this shit doesn't feel
good,
normal.
No.
Like, I don't know that an assassination on a former or future or candidate is the things that I'm wanting. I'm not rooting for any of that shit. All right. Like, I'm not displeased by it per se, but I'm not rooting for it. I'm not encouraging anyone to do dumb shit like that, because all it's going to do is fire up everybody, man. And it feels to me like that's exactly what the fucking goal is here.
And is being checked.
Let's go back live and hear what they're saying. Come on.
Within the last 5 minutes, say they were very worried that other people might have been grazed or even shot and facing serious consequences medically at this time.
And more statements are coming in. Members of Congress, of course, speaking out. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries has written on X, "My thoughts and prayers are with former President Trump. I am thankful for the decisive law enforcement response. America is a democracy. Political violence of any kind is never acceptable." These are the sentiments being echoed here across the aisle at a time like this, of course, where everyone is coming together. Everyone is going to unify. I want to bring in Caitlin Huey-Burns from Milwaukee,
involved, right? Like the rounds are metal still.
Getting ready for the Republican National Convention. Caitlin?
Have you done any x-rays?
Adriana, good to see you. Yeah, we're here where thousands are going to descend upon Milwaukee in just a couple of days here. Donald Trump is supposed to be nominated for the 3rd time as the party's leader here. I can tell you that just on Tuesday, I was covering a Trump rally in Miami. And just to give you an idea of what these kinds of events are like, the security is, of course, extremely tight. You have to go through magnetometers to be able to get in. But it is also important important to note that these rallies take place outside. There are thousands that come, up to thousands that come, and they're outside in vast spaces. People are there all day, usually waiting. The other night when I was there, it was a night event. People had been waiting for hours and hours and hours outside to see him. I should also note that there have been children present. I've noticed more children present at the rallies that I've attended covering the former president. This, as Bob just described, of course, is a shocking event. There are no words. I've been texting.
I don't see anyone in the crowd. Like we're looking at the crowd right here.
The former president's team.
I don't see anyone in front or below that's like signaling
and so we are
for
keeping updates on his condition and on the condition
or
of anyone else on his
people
team.
to
As
sit
you
down,
saw,
but I don't see anybody
also, which is prevalent at
acting
these
like it was
rallies.
shot.
People are
And I
invited
gotta be
to
honest
stand
with you.
behind him, and so the idea. We'll obviously be reporting on what kind of security measures
Imagine that
we're
job
taking
having
here.
to be the
But
fucking
this
human
is
shield
just significant
for the
because
fucking keto.
Trump really prides
All those
himself
nice suits that have all that
on
orange
these
stuff all over
rallies.
them.
They have become frequent in his presidency, but he is expected to come here very shortly, in just over 24 hours, to be here in Milwaukee. We are outside the security perimeter for the convention, but security is already very tight here, and so we're waiting to see further precautions
he's
being
surrounded
taken.
on all sides. These fucking bullets had to go
Caitlin
somewhere.
Burns joining us from Milwaukee. Caitlin, we'll check back in with you in a minute. Bob,
Yeah,
do you have new reporting?
Yes, I just got off the phone with someone who was
like
backstage with former President Trump at the rally. Congressman Mike Kelly
they're behind
of
him in
Pennsylvania,
the
a
down after the
Republican. He
shots. I didn't
just
see
spoke
anybody
directly
fall. We can
to
watch it
CBS
over and
News.
over
I
again
asked
if
the
you like.
congressman if I could quote him on air. He gave permission. He said he was backstage watching Trump. He said he was waiting there with a few other lawmakers to see if former President Trump was going to begin his speech. He said everything was calm. And then he said, quote, a couple shots rang out. Shots just rang out. And everyone saw the president go down. He was watching from just a few steps away as Secret Service agents fell on top of former President Trump. And he said,
And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, first shot's fired. Should have nicked his ear. We're looking at all the people behind him. I don't see anyone reacting to a gunshot or being shot, which you would definitely see. Okay. The person right behind him definitely dropped quick. I will say that. Now, if they're shooting at those people behind him would definitely be shot, right? Okay, because watch the blonde chick.
What happened? See something that said, take a look at what happened.
I just think that even in the panic, guy in the fucking hat would be looking down at the and like, whoa, you've been shot? Like,
Move it there. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Move. Go. Hawkeye's here. You ready?
Okay, we are watching live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where former President Trump was speaking on the stage.
oh man, I need more video.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
And they're all looking to the left. It's so confusing, man. It is so weird to me. It is super weird to me.
Hold. When
This
you're
has
ready,
a
on
fucking
you.
weird vibe, man. I mean, I'm gonna let it unfold. But I have no doubt that they're going to tell us exactly what they want to tell us. So even if they were told, they tell it. Like, where are they looking? They look like the.
Okay, we are watching live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where
So apparently,
senior government official who did indicate that the former president is safe. But I want to talk a little bit about what is happening in real time right now. This is an intelligence and operational failure. The Secret Service and the FBI are deeply aware of the heightened threat environment that Margaret was just articulating, both as it pertains to foreign terrorist organizations and individuals inspired by those foreign terrorist organizations, as well as domestic violent extremists with anti-government sentiment. Because of that,
okay,
the
so I
Secret
see
Service
people
and
pointing left
FBI
there
are
for sure.
consistently monitoring intelligence to try to mitigate threats and enhance operational security. It is clear that the intelligence picture heading into this rally was not what it needed to be, and it is also clear that the operational measures to protect the president were insufficient. Now, we believe, my sources are telling me that this is still an active threat stream, even if the perpetrator has been neutralized. We do not know, and the Secret Service and FBI are likely investigating whether this individual acted alone and or whether there are any ongoing threats associated with this perpetrator to other targets, the president's family or others. So that will be actively investigated, whether this is an individual threat or there are other active threat streams associated with this individual. Now, from an operational perspective, the U.S. Secret Service, as well as other law enforcement entities that protect other kinds of government officials, will be upping their operational posture to ensure that their protectees are safe and that this does not spur any kind of retaliatory action by Trump supporters or individuals inspired by these activities to try to engage in malicious activity of their own. So this is, to put it quite simply, one of the most significant threats that we have seen materialize in this country in decades, and our law enforcement community is upping their operational posture to try to mitigate threats while this active investigation is underway.
And Sam, as you said, this is a catastrophic failure. We're getting new reporting into the newsroom now that says 2 law enforcement sources say there is no longer a threat. The suspect is either dead or in custody. That is unclear. Secret Service agents did engage the individual. So now we know the Secret Service did engage the individual involved. That person is no longer a threat. We don't know if that person acted alone. We don't know what the overall scope of this was. We don't know if multiple people were hit or the extent of former President Trump's injuries. All of this is still unclear. And this is happening as thoughts and prayers are pouring in from all across the aisle as well as the world. Benjamin Netanyahu has tweeted on X. He posted on X, "Sarah and I were shocked at the apparent attack on President Trump. We pray for his safety and speedy recovery." We also have new reporting here coming in from Ed O'Keefe. Ed, are you with me?
I am, Adriana. We
Go
can
ahead, Ed.
Convey that, and as we've been talking about this, it's important to point out that while this has happened in Pennsylvania, we wonder, where was President Biden? We're told now he was in church. He normally goes to Mass on Saturday evenings, especially when he's in Delaware. He's at his Rehoboth Beach, Delaware home. Came out of Mass shortly after the incident occurred and has been briefed by his Homeland Security advisors, by the Homeland Security Secretary himself, in a briefing that included his Chief of Staff and other senior advisors. Let's point out again that the Secret Service has said in a statement that the incident occurred tonight in Pennsylvania. They've implemented protective measures and the former president is safe. But they say it's an active Secret Service investigation and further information will be released when available. There are a large number of Secret Service other federal, state, and local personnel here in Milwaukee, which is set to begin hosting the Republican convention with a series of events tomorrow ahead of the formal nomination of Trump on Monday. We've got no word from convention organizers yet, which is understandable as they're still trying to sort out exactly what's going on. But there is a carefully choreographed schedule that is set to begin on Monday. The ATF is also helping the Secret Service with this situation. They're deployed here in Wisconsin along with other federal agencies, and we'll see if that makes any big changes to the security posture here. One thing we're waiting to hear about, Adriana, in addition to the condition of the former president, his whereabouts, is whether the president will have anything to say about this tonight. We know that the reporting pool that travels with him has not been cleared for the night as they normally would be after he goes to church, which suggests that perhaps the president will have something to say later tonight about what transpired in Pennsylvania a little while ago. So again, while the former president is safe, lots of unanswered questions about his condition, how this happens, how the president and his campaign may respond to this beyond the statements that are coming from Democrats and Republicans about the concerns about violence and what effect it might have on the convention that is set to begin here Monday in Milwaukee. Adriana?
Set to begin on Monday, but we don't know if that now is going to change. There's so much that is up in the air. Will the convention begin as planned on Monday? What will be changes to security at that convention, at the Democratic National Convention in August? How is this changing the campaign, changing security? This at a time where emotions are running high on both sides in both of these campaigns. There's been plenty of scrutiny on former President Trump as well as President Biden. And yet they are still out front, trying to be as close as they can to the public, to rally support, to rally voters and make their cases to the American people. But this is a historic moment. We are told, as you heard Ed said, that the president is being briefed. We know that he is speaking to the director of the Secret Service, Ken Cheadle.
Seriously, Steve, I'm with you, man. If I'm behind on the bleachers, I'm getting the Secretary
of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, to get a sense of what is happening, of the scope
behind him
of the condition of former President
crowd
Trump.
would have been
We
reacting
are told that
to it,
former
man,
President
like-
Trump is safe, but we don't know
Blonde does drop
exactly
like a rock.
where
You're
he is
kind of goes down.
or what his
Blonde and the
condition is. We're
brunette
told
seem to be right
that
on
he
cue.
has been seen by
So
a medical
maybe-
professional.
Maybe those two got shot. I
And
don't
his
know.
team
I
issued
never
a
saw him
statement
stand back up in this
themselves
video. Doesn't show
explaining
far
that,
enough into the crowd. I'm gonna try to
the
find the
president
video.
thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action
like,
during this
that
heinous
guy in the
act,
black has like
and
a
he
clear
is
view.
fine. It says
This
that
guy
more
right here
details
has
will
like a
follow.
clear view. This guy
And
has
this is
clear
where we
view.
are trying to
He's just
gather as
sitting
many
there. Why-
details as
Don't
we
you
can.
think that any of these people,
Our
and this
Bob
lady with
Costa
the
has
camera, she's not
gone to
she's
so
not
many
looking
of these
down
events.
at the
He's
shot
covered these
lady.
rallies. He
People-
understands
Don't you think they'd be
really just the
screaming
feeling
or
in the
writhing
air,
in
Bob,
pain
of when
unless they
you're
were
there,
killed
and there's so
immediately?
many people.
This
And
just
you know,
feels
President Trump supporters, are known
feels
for how
sketch to me,
passionate they
man.
are.
I know I'm always on
what does it feel like when you're
conspiracy shit.
actually
I
there?
know
What
that
is
I'm
that,
never taking
that
anything at face
atmosphere?
value.
There
I
are
know.
people who follow former
Questioning
President Trump's
everything.
rallies across the
But dude,
country,
look at the crowd. Does
almost
that
like
look
some
like a
people
crowd who
follow
just got shot into?
musicians. It has often reminded me, as a Grateful
Does it?
Dead fan, of
The
how
person
people
next
would
to
have
him
the fervent
still-
following for the dead. That a lot of people have the fervent following for former President Trump. They'll go from city to city, arena to arena, because there's a sense of jubilation
And then you got
among
the
his
fucking idiot
political
guy, like,
supporters that the rally
"Yeah,
has a
we're all
convening power for
saved!
those who are like-minded to
God's
come
gonna
together
fucking
and
save
support
us this time. I
former
hate it
President
here,
Trump. I've
man.
seen him everywhere
I
from the
hate it
South
here.
Bronx
I hope
to
that everybody doesn't go
California
crazy,
to
'cause
Texas
honestly,
to
I
Florida.
feel
He
like
goes
the
everywhere.
point
Arenas
is just to make
outside.
people look at each
He's
other,
unlike most
cause unrest,
politicians. He
start a
focuses on
civil war,
rallies as the
lock us
place
all down,
where he
control
can
us even more.
really
We
bring his
already
people
know that
together. So,
we're
and there
prone
have
to
been incidents
going in
in
their
the
houses
past
when they're
of
told to,
some unruliness at
shutting
his
down their
rallies,
businesses when they're told
protesters,
to.
disruptions, but
I
nothing
look for this to be
like this. And
absolutely
even
no
though it's
different.
always Secret Service
Always a
protected,
fucking fool,
this
man.
is something at an entirely
I don't
different
know.
level. Someone
I was kind of hoping
discharging
more
a
shit would
firearm, it
unfold
appears to
from this.
be at the former
Like, we
president and
see
perhaps at others
more,
there.
maybe there's some.
I'm being told that we have new material coming in, Bob. I'm going to play that
Well,
to see
there
what
is
it
blood on the
shows.
bleachers.
Do we have that material?
I do see what
New
looks
video
to be
from the
blood on the
scene?
bleachers.
While we get to that, while we look at that, I'll bring in Margaret Brennan with some new reporting.
I've just been trying to make phone calls to make sure everyone is safe. The Senate candidate, Dave McCormick, who was in that front row, has confirmed
Why is it all the way
that
over there?
he is safe at this rally, but it does.
Come
There are
on.
reports of other has confirmed
some new reporting.
I've just been trying to make phone calls.
That's all the way
While
to
we
the
get
left
to
of the
that,
bleachers.
while we look at that, I'll bring in Margaret Brennan with some new reporting.
I've just been trying to make phone calls to make sure everyone is safe. The Senate candidate, Dave McCormick, who is in that front row, has confirmed that he is safe at this rally, but there are reports of other individuals in the area who did have contact here of some sort, injuries of some sort. So I'm just trying to call lawmakers to confirm their whereabouts. But what you can see, and as you have been seeing, our inboxes are just exploding with emails from Democratic lawmakers, the Democratic governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, coming out condemning political violence, the governor of Michigan, Democrats very quickly to condemn this act of violence, to distance this from their political party in any way. There is no suggestion that there would be a connection, but they are very clearly trying to, out of the gate, say that there is no place for political violence in our politics at this moment of such high tension. An important message to be sent at this moment, just 4 months out from a race that was already quite tense. And we're seeing world leaders. We're seeing the Hungarian prime minister, the Israeli prime minister, others describing this as an attempted assassination of the former president, current leading candidate, not just for the Republican nomination, but potentially another 4-year term.
On the left.
And Margaret, I'm just getting an
That's
email
where the
now
bloody
from
bleachers were.
CBS News contributor Richard Esposito. This says that
Unless
according to
that's
multiple
where the
state and
shooter was.
local federal state, local,
Doesn't
and
make any
federal law
sense.
enforcement sources, the shooter who fired at Donald Trump was, quote, neutralized, as we have reported, by U.S. Secret Service agents. This was most likely from a counter-assault team. Multiple spectators were wounded and injured, at least one in critical condition. This is all based on initial reports, but what is happening now is we're starting to piece together what is it that exactly transpired. This is an active crime scene.
It is, and our reporters who follow every movement that the candidate makes, Jake Rosen, Olivia Rinaldi, were there. They saw it happen. They heard it. You can see from that very rough video that they dropped to the ground. And by the way, political violence is not necessarily a norm in this country, but let's put this in the context of not just the moment we're in, but what we as reporters have been preparing for, which is the expectation that in this election cycle, there very well may be political violence. And our reporters do train for that now. That is something you do typically when you go overseas to cover an election, but now our reporters are doing that to cover these rallies, to cover political conventions. And so we are happy to know that those two reporters are safe. But as we're seeing from the video, they are feeding in.
I just watched one of the videos Jake Rosen sent in, and he's talking to attendees who are clearly traumatized. And one gentleman, I'm sure we'll have it soon here at CBS News on Air, had a shirt that clearly had blood on it in some capacity. And so you're seeing it, reporters doing their jobs for CBS News and other outlets, but you see those attendees just rattled by the experience of being part of a violent event.
Because
my mind is blown,
even if
because
there
how-
was
how
an
was the
intended
Fed
target, as there appears to have been, to have a shot like that, multiple shots
that
at
way.
a very well-guarded stage, there were people in the area who were also hit, which suggests, and if you could hear it, it didn't sound like an automatic weapon.
Wasn't
but
automatic.
there were others that were hit in the area, and we are being careful. And when
Was
we
it
are
a
reading
pellet
these
gun?
initial
Because
reports
I gotta be
and
honest,
editing, I would
any
have to say
firearm,
some
a
of the graphic
22
detail
would have
that we are getting from some of our reporters on the
22
ground.
And
long.
we're just getting a new update that from our reporters
efficient
Olivia Rinaldi and Jake Rosen.
it
I'm
moves
sure you're getting this
fast.
update
I
as
don't
well.
understand this whole thing.
That people are being escorted out. Jake Rosen spoke to an emergency room physician who saw a man
How would
shot
the
in the
bullet
head with
mix
brain
here
matter on
and
the
hit
ground.
someone on the left
That's
side of the
according to an
bleachers?
ER
I don't really
physician performed.
bounce off a thick ass
An ER
bullet.
physician performed CPR, but he did not. He's dealing with that at this moment. That's Jake Rosen, our report. To be clear, Jake Rosen, our reporter on the ground in Butler, Pennsylvania, has spoken to an emergency room physician who saw a man shot in the head with brain matter on the ground. That's based on Jake Rosen's reporting. Jake looked at the camera after the incident, saw blood coming from Trump's ear in some way, his neck. Jake was on the scene. He was our reporter on the scene. Scott McFarland, who has been on the ground doing excellent reporting as well, heard in his view, 8 to 10 explosions based on his reporting. He said the crowd ducked based on his reporting notes, hit the ground when a popping sound occurred. To Margaret's point, it was a popping sound. The press was under the risers. They saw Secret Service swarm to the left of Trump following the incident, saw helicopters come in a few minutes after. That's based on the ground reporting from Olivia Rinaldi, Jake Rosen, and Scott McFarland, who are in Butler, Pennsylvania.
And we do have that reporting that at least one person has been injured in critical condition. And it is still early. A lot more details will come out. People's conditions change. They go up, they go down. We'll learn more about, hopefully, President Trump's condition. We are told he is safe, but we don't have the details. Was he hit directly? Was he just grazed? We're now being told that Vice President Kamala Harris has also been briefed on the incident. We know that President Biden has been briefed by members of his cabinet. Now Vice President Harris has been briefed. She was also addressing crowds today at her own rally, as was the First Lady. All of these figures out on the campaign trail as this campaign heats up. And this is happening, this political violence, at a time when there is such tension in the country, yet people still are going out to support their candidates, still taking those risks and going through all the security measures needed to be there, to see the democratic process play out. And now we're seeing really the cost of those risks. Clearly a catastrophic failure of security. The Secret Service is investigating. This is a live investigation, and many questions will be asked in terms of what went wrong. Who was able to enter this area? Were they able to shoot at this area from outside the security perimeter? We still don't know. It's still early. We're still just getting initial details in. But the crime scene is active. We are told by our reporter Olivia Rinaldi, who was there, that crime scene tape is up. The area has been cleared. We have heavily armed security personnel who have entered this fairground, essentially is what it is, in Butler County, Pennsylvania. And this is a part of this battleground state that has supported former President Trump twice. They went for him in 2016, again in 2020. So this is somewhere where he enjoys a great amount of support. And of course, for something like this to happen, chaos ensued afterward. This is what we saw on the video. This is what we're told by our reporters there. We now have some new video. We're going to play it for you right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, don't. We're okay. This is video from She follows President Trump. She's been to countless rallies like this. And there's our Scott McFarland under the bleachers, as he told us he was. And this is a moment where all of the training that we've all been through in this country, of all ages, for what to do when there is, when you hear shots fired, everybody gets down, ducks, and tries to figure out what's going on. Bob?
As we watch this footage of the attack as it took place, you see Rachel Scott from ABC, our reporter Scott McFarland in the bleachers. There's chaos in the press area near the stage. Former President Trump raising his hand in defiance as he's escorted off stage after the incident. We just got a statement.
There's the blood. You can see.
For CBS News, which just received a statement from President George W. Bush, the former president, said, quote, "Laura and I are grateful that President Trump is safe following." There's been a sense of on edge.
New cell phone video that shows what appears to be the shooter down on a rooftop. Now, this is consistent with information we're getting from federal sources saying that the gunman possibly fired from an elevated position. Let's take a look at this video. It appears that we're seeing someone on a roof there. Potentially, this is someone who was outside the security perimeter. I'm going to bring in our reporter, Olivia Rinaldi. Olivia, what can you tell us? We've been getting some of your video in the newsroom here. What did you see? What did you hear?
Adriana, it was a terrifying moment. Trump was probably a few minutes into his remarks, and all of us were waiting for a vice presidential announcement. Instead, we heard successive loud noises, loud bangs that were playing. It sounded like shots. We immediately took cover. I pulled out my phone and I started recording. You can hear my voice there, pretty shaky. You could start to hear Secret Service also through Trump's microphone trying to get him down on the ground. We were down for probably, it felt like a lifetime. It was probably like 30 seconds or so. And then I popped my head up and I could see Donald Trump surrounded by security and Secret Service and pumping his fist. And he wouldn't, they were trying to get him off the stage and he was resisting them a little bit and putting his fist up in the air. After that happened, they cleared him. We could hear the motorcade leave right away. Our security personnel was with us as well. We had all got.
We was worried about them. We couldn't call them. And so we started trying to go after them then when they finally let us up. And they had been right by the fence where the other shooter was. There was one I heard in the water tower. There was one by the fence.
And still, obviously, initial reports. But what we do know, according to the AP, this is coming, Bill, from the Butler County District Attorney's Office, saying the shooter dead and a rally attendee killed. So this is all still developing out here. But to hear those numerous pops and then to have so many people in that crowd try to take cover there, people were, trying to get out of there as quickly as they could. To see the former president down on the ground, to come back up, to see some blood possibly on his ear, but then leave with a fist pump. People were pretty emotional. You think about all this, right? When you go into these events, as you both have before, you go through that Secret Service check, they go through your bags, they wand people down, but it's always a concern when you're going to a big rally like this. And people were excited to be out here. They were here for hours just trying to get a glimpse of the former president. That includes you as well. So just tell me a little bit about what you heard.
Just heard pop, pop, pop. Right away, you think, well, maybe firecrackers, and you're kind of
Look at
stunned.
this crazy old bird.
And then fire, and then like return fire, and then everybody get down. So we got down, and we huddled, and we just started praying. The lady in front of me that laid on top of me, she was crying. I said, "It's going to be okay, honey."
We shielded ourselves with thoughts and prayers.
And then after a little while, we could see Trump get up. He gave the, like, I'm okay. I'm okay. And so then we got up. Like, as a true leader, he was like leading us.
Lady, you're definitely violating the flag code.
The Secret Service members saying, "Let me get my shoes." I mean, he wanted to walk away.
There he is leading us. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? I mean, it gives you goosebumps.
He's fucking pumped up.
Were you afraid for your safety?
After when I heard the get down, then I realized, yeah, for sure it was for sure shots. But when we started to pray, I felt protected, and I just want to give God all the glory. God gets all the glory that Trump was protected and people were protected. I'm sorry about a fatality. I'm sorry. I pray God comforts those people. We've been praying the whole time since it happened for anybody involved.
Did you see?
I only stopped praying to do this interview. What's the book she's reading?
I talked to ABC News, and they just said that there was. ABC News said there was someone in his ear, but they said that could have been from Secret. That may not have been his blood, and it may have been from Secret Service getting him down.
Okay, thank you for talking to us. I'm glad that you're okay. Thank you. So we're just going to walk you a little bit over here, just kind of see what the scene is going on here.
Smells like onions.
This is where everybody was lining up, okay, before they went in. We're talking like 8 hours in the hot sun out here in Butler County, where these people wanted to catch a glimpse of the president. They were out here buying hats and doing everything they could to kind of get ready for the day. He was up there only for a few minutes, the former president, before this shooting happened. We were in the media area, and when we heard those pops, you kind of look around, you try to get your bearings and figure out what's going on. Then you saw the Secret Service really swoop
they're on the
in there,
fucking roof right
and
there.
get into action quickly. The former president down on the ground behind that podium. We were talking with some law enforcement out here as well when they were trying to figure out what was happening. They were trying to survey, Bill, where these possible shots were coming from. But one person we talked to who was out here on the ground with law enforcement said it sounded like there was a silencer, and that's why people were wondering really what it was, because you couldn't hear it. It was like muffled. And so that's why they moved in so quickly and tried to do everything that they could to make sure the president was okay.
Peggy Hill.
All right, Alexis McAdams on the scene.
So just stay with us if you want. Do you want to hear from anybody else?
Sure, Alexis, if you are ready to go.
If you want to. I know you guys are enrolling coverage. We just might as well. We're trying to grab as many people as they're walking out.
Yes,
but you were inside, and just kind of tell me what you heard.
He tells it better than I do.
Okay, what happened?
Well, we were basically standing. There was a Trump campaign people at the tent right there on the corner, and we kind of went all together towards where he was speaking as close as you could get, and one of the kids was really tall. So my wife's like, hey, can you take this, and get me a picture of him real close? And next thing you know, as soon as he pointed the camera, all hell broke loose.
Walk me through how many shots or pops, rather, you heard and what you were thinking. I mean, were you afraid for your safety? You're here with your family?
I just wanted everybody to be calm and don't panic, because they're not aiming for us. You know what I mean? So.
Do you ever think, you came to this big rally. I think you think about,
my wedding anniversary.
Okay.
It just seems odd.
Yeah, well, to know though that there's that many people waiting here, and then they did check everybody. I mean,
Happy birthday, dude!
The Secret Service did a
my
good job checking
birthday,
people.
my
Was there
anniversary,
anything that you
fucking every special day in this dude's life ever.
Expect. I was expecting a lot of people here, and that's what we got today. So.
What would you say to the former president if you could talk to him?
We love you, and we'll back you. We're backing you.
Were you worried that he was badly injured when you saw him hit the ground?
At first, I didn't see him hit the ground. I just was mainly trying to get people not to panic and overrun each other. In a situation like that, everybody just wanted to scatter.
Did you get out pretty quickly? There were a lot of people that were
fucking
pushed
scatter
into that.
though, bro.
I wasn't worried about getting out quickly. I just wanted to, the people around me to be safe. That's all you can hope for. And
knowing how much is going on in the world, and when it comes to politics, it's like you can't even, people get mad at their neighbors, they get mad, they lose friends over politics. Do you ever worry about kind of coming to these rallies and being unsafe?
This is my first rally, so what an experience
Where we're at
before everything happened.
It's fucking news.
But,
I don't need to speak to every fucking.
People are gonna do what people do, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
American News Networks.
The president leaving, getting into the car, pretty much under his own power, certainly supported and escorted to safety, but he looks like he will be okay. And once again, flashing that triumphant fist that is
he saying fuck?
Characteristic of many of his campaigns. For those of you just tuning in, we want to play for you the moment when Secret Service agents rushed former President Trump off the stage. We want to caution you that we don't know exactly who said what's captioned on the screen or why they said it, because it was such a chaotic moment, but here it is.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move? Let's go.
Shooters down that fucking quick.
Yeah.
Bro, I have so many. The Secret Service, man. There's tons of
and again, that moment of chaos, you hear the screams in the crowd as people are beginning to learn that something is amiss there. Our investigative correspondent, Tom Winter, is with us on the phone. He continues to get reaction and national security details. What can you tell us now?
Lester, while I'm on the phone with you, one of my colleagues is on the phone with the local district attorney in that county who tells NBC News that the alleged shooter, the person they believe responsible for this event, is in fact deceased. So again, to repeat, the local district attorney in the area where the Trump rally is telling one of our colleagues right now that in fact the alleged shooter, the person they believe to be responsible for this, is deceased. We do not yet have a name or identity of that individual. We don't know their background, where they may have come from, any sort of personal motivations. That's information we're still trying to gather.
Yeah, we're going to wait a couple minutes to tell you guys that, so it doesn't seem even more set up.
3 senior U.S. law enforcement officials tell myself and colleague Jonathan Hughes that there appear to have been, or they're looking into whether or not several other individuals were shot that were in the crowd. Those are not individuals suspected to be involved in this. Those were either rally goers or bystanders, but they're looking into whether at least 2 other individuals were shot as well. So that's the latest update that would seem to indicate to us a couple of things. One, they believe they know who did this. They believe they know where they were, potentially what they were using, and they can now start to do a lot of detailed investigative work. We don't know, although there is no indication at this time that any other individual was involved. But obviously, it's very early and very preliminary on that.
What do you miss a motherfucker?
Will presumably need to be done.
Yeah, let me just follow up on that. I think you may have answered the question, but we did hear from one witness a bit earlier who seemed to believe that there were 2 individuals involved.
I don't know who the marksman was,
that the local DA is saying one shooter is deceased. So the belief is that it is a single shooter.
Get this guy doing what he did.
The belief at this time is that that's the case, because what they said was that the person they believe is responsible is deceased. So they did not indicate that there were any other individuals. But that's, again, Lester, as you well know, we're less than 2 hours into this.
I guess we'll let this
so
unfold.
There's a lot of information, a lot of things that
And,
are on the ground.
I've had enough listening to that shit. Shut up. All right, I guess we'll let this unfold, but it feels sketchy to me. All right. I have a lot of questions. I'm going to watch it. I got some pork steaks to eat. I got friends here. We're going to watch a shitty movie tonight. Shitty movie Saturday. It's a ritual at my house. We watch a shitty movie every Saturday. So that's what we're going to do. Be safe out there, guys. Use your brain to make decisions, not emotions. All right. Because, no matter what, don't let them fire us up to be at war with each other. All right. That's my only wish. You can fucking root for politicians. You can fucking do all the dumb shit you want. But for fuck's sake, be smart, be intelligent, not emotional. That's all I got. Toodaloo.
They should do a Jerry Springer final word.